This is the Iron Trader, and this is the weekend edition. Today we're going to take a look here at commodities with a twist. First we're going to look at here is oil, natural gas, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and one of my favorite trades is NVDA, which is going to do a 10-for-1 split here on the 7th. Okay, this video is for information purpose only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, commodity ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, first on the docket here is we have crude oil. Now, I really wanted to bring this up here because the OPEC meeting was today. Now, they are going to actually extend their cuts all the way through till September of 2025. Also, Russia is going to extend their voluntary cuts along with others, and that's going to be about 1.7 million barrels a day. Okay, so they're looking to get this price up higher. So the cuts remain intact all the way through September of 2025, and then they're going to adjust it and see how everything goes. Okay, let's take a look here on the charts. All right, here we have the old daily chart. Now, you can see here what we have is a series of lower highs and lower lows. That's never good. Here's a perfect example of it. Until we get this reversal candle, that's what we're looking for. And again, we don't know where this is going to actually bottom out here. Now, Friday, we had that low of 76.67. Now, your next target is going to be right here. There's going to be 76.43. And then we have this 76.15, your big retest. And then we look on the old weekly chart. You're looking at here at 75.80. That's the big target. Now, we can see here on this weekly chart here, as this price comes down, you can see how that 200-day is holding it. Now, yeah, can you come all the way through? But it doesn't make any difference. What you're looking for in the weekly is the closing at the end of the week, which would be Friday. See, look at all these weeks here, right off that 200-day. Now, again, if it comes down to this 200-day and it holds it, this could be a very, very good buying opportunity here to take it longer, okay? So we have to look at this, the 200-day, how it's moving on the way up here. See how nice that is? Okay, and it's held all the way in the past, so it does mean that it can't hold again here very, very nicely if it gets down to that level. Now, again, we're looking for these bottoming tails, and these candles come in many forms, okay? Like there's a bottoming tail. Here's one. Here's one. Okay, we had them going all the way through there. See it right there? And even like old sticky over here, okay? These are bottoming. That's what we're looking for, just like we had here, and then he had a nice rally up. Now, last week here, we had that rally. This candle here took out all that downslide in one big swoop, okay? But we went right up in here, and you got as high as 80.62. But when you look at the weekly chart here, it just couldn't get through and close above all this resistance. You got your 100-day and you got your 8-day. It just could not get through. So right now we're looking for that bottoming candle. So watch right there, 76.43, and then watch that 76.15. And then your next target there is going to be 75.80. That's going to be very, very key support. Now, if somehow we can get that candle, maybe even today, okay, when the futures open here at 6 p.m., we got to see how that shakes out. However, what you want to do is watch the high and the low and the closing on this candle. So what you look for is Friday's high, 78.62, the low of 76.67, and then it closed at 76.18, okay? All these numbers are sitting right up here nicely, okay? Now, if we can get above that, then we look to the bottom of this candle right here, looking at 77.63, and then we'll come right over here to this 8-day at 78.11. You have your 21-day at 78.60, and then we have your 100-day sitting right there at 79.14. If you can get above, your target is going to be that 79.90. Now, we also have very, very strong right here. Okay, so you're looking at 79.02. That would be just above this 21 SMA here. And then we have this 50 SMA at 79.36, would be just above this 100-day between that and your 200 SMA. So all that is becoming very, very strong resistance level. Now, realistically, by Friday, you want to make sure that it holds that 200 SMA on a closing basis. That's very, very key. Now, you can see here on the MACD, the green closed below the red. that is a sell signal as soon as it does that. Okay, right here we have just sideways action, so we got to see the green is still above the red, but it's just kind of a sideways action. Now we had this positive divergence right here on the RSI here, and we moved up nicely. It just could not hold it. So what we had here is a low, and then we had a low. But we had an even lower low, and then we have a higher low. See that positive divergence? So always use your RSI here. That's a relative strength indicator. And that gives you a good view of, hey, what's going to happen. But you need to put everything in order. So when you get this positive divergence, okay, you get a bullish cross over here, and you get a bottoming tail, that tells you where you can go long here. Never you just use one thing. You always want to use multiple things. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have natural gas, your daily and your weekly chart. Okay, so what we had here is Friday, we had that low right there, okay? You came in low at 2.518. This is the critical support level right here. This is 50 SMA. Sitting at basically, well, it's sitting at 2.498. So if you go 2.50, that is going to be very, very key. Now, again, if it loses this, then we come right over here, 2.54, and then we have your 21-day just below it at 2.44. Now, when those futures open at 6, this 21-day might be over that 200-day, so just keep that very much in mind. Now, another critical on the upside is we want to watch is this 8 SMA here, okay? See how this 8 SMA held everything? All the candles held up very, very nice, but now you can see how she's rolling over, okay? That's never really what you want to see here, because when that price gets below it, this is what happens, and the price comes right on down. When it gets above it, then the price just rises right on up here. So really Friday we had as an indecision kind of a candle. It ran right up, and where to go? Right into that 8 SMA. Now, again, if you can get above this 8 simple moving average, then what we'll do is we'll look to the top of this candle at 2.68. We'll look to the top of there at 2.70, and then we just ride them up. 2.75, 2.79, 2.85, and then we look at this candle right here at 2.92. Now, this last week we had that contract roll, came all the way up here, hit a high at 2.848, which is, take that right over there. See, that's your resistance level. Always look to the left of the chart. Then you'll know exactly where the price is going to go. Now, on the downside here, you really have to hold that 50. You have to hold that 200-day and that 21-day. If that is lost, okay, then she could come riding all the way down here. So what we do is we just follow these candles down. You got 2.38 here. You got 2.31. We just ride it right down all the way 2.21 until we come down to this 21 SMA here at basically 2.2. And then we have your 21-day right below that 8 SMA here at 2.85. But again, this is a very, very bullish cross here. As long as it can hold that 50 SMA in this 221-day, then it's in good shape. Upside, you got to get above this 8 SMA. Now, again, this is my trade sideways here. Just like we had like here on the, when you look at a weekly chart, this just might do a little sideways action. And again, if that 8-day keeps rolling over, you'll keep on pushing that price up, and then you'll be fighting it the whole way. Okay, so that's something you don't want to do. See, here's a perfect example of it. When that price gets below that 8, see what you're doing? You're fighting it the whole way. Okay, when you're above it, nice. When you get below it, no. Above it, yes. Below it, no. So that's how we got to see. But just watch that 50, that 200-day, and 100-day on the downside. Upside, watch that 8-day. If you can get above, then we follow the candles up, and there's your big retest at 2.92. Now, I don't like RSI here is kind of flattening out here. I don't like the green went below your red. That's a sell signal. That's not very, very good. But again, on your weekly, you're looking good unless you lose that 50 simple moving average. Okay, let's take a look here at gold. Okay, here we had gold. Now, gold had a really, really nice run here, as you can well see, okay? Look at this here. See, once you get above that 8 SMA, see how nice that is? Okay, all the way up nice. Now, we had a double top situation. So what we did is we had a high here of 2.448, and then we come over here at 2.54. You notice that it could not hold it, and there was your double top, and boom, now she came right on down. Now, what I pointed out here when we looked at gold last time was when you watch this candle and you see this rising here, this is a bear flag situation, okay? Not a perfect bear flag situation, but that's a bear flag situation. Went right at that 8-day and then came right off. Now, you notice on Friday, it popped up here, but it couldn't get above that 8 SMA. Got a little bit above that 21 SMA here, but you just can't get above, okay? See, that is going to be very, very key to get above that 8. Now, again, if you can get above that 8 SMA here, then what we're going to do is we're going to be looking to this simple moving average here at 23.62. That's going to be very, very key if you can get above the well, that's 23.63 right there, 23.62. Yeah, both of these line up very, very nicely. So this is going to be very, very key if you can get and close above. Look what we had here. See that double top situation? Came right on down here, and now we're below that 8 SMA, and we're below this 8 SMA. That's not very good. So look for that 23.63, 23.62 level. That's going to be very, very crucial here. Now, we came on down here after you popped up, and we're holding this 50-day. That's going to be very crucial on the downside. That's 23.35. Now, again, if that's lost here, then we'll come right to the bottom here, 23.33. We'll look right there. You're looking at 23.26. And then what we can do is this is what you're going to be looking for. It's going to come all the way down here and retest that 22.85 level. Very, very easy. Okay, so again, if you can get above this 8 SMA lineup, if you can get above that, then what we'll do is we'll come to the top of that candle. You're looking at 23.73. We look at Friday's high, 23.81. And it would just follow the candles. You got 23.86 here. We can look there to the bottom there. You're looking at 24.08. Then we have 24.30. Then we have 24.38. And you can rock yourself all the way up to this candle here first. Okay, that's at 24.48 and then 24.54. However, you got to get above the close above that 21-day, that 8 SMA, and the 8 SMA on the weekly. Very, very key. Downside, you really have to hold that 50-day. Okay, if you don't hold that 50-day, then she can come around here and retest that 22.85 in a hurry. Okay, so always when you see a pattern like this, you see a flag, and a big pole, and then you see it rising up here. A lot of times that's a bear flag, and that's how she played out here pretty nicely. Now, I have all this here online. If you go to my playlist, I did a video there all on candlesticks and chart patterns. So if you want to, just go on a playlist, click it on, check it out. It's all right there for you on different kind of situations that you always want to look at, especially a situation like this here. See, we have a double top situation. As soon as you see that and it could not hold that candle, that means she's going to come right on down very nicely. Okay, let's take a look here at silver. Okay, here we have the old silver. Now, she pretty much same situation. You ran a high at 32.75. We came up here, you retested it. You had 32.45. Okay, so kind of a double top situation all the way down, and now you lost that 8 SMA. So let's just take a look at the upside first. You want to get back above that 31.30. If you can, then we come right up to Friday's high. You're looking at 31.94. You have 32.28. We'll come up to here at 32.51, and then we come to your big retest there at 32.75. Okay, but you have to get above and close above this 8 simple moving average. That is very, very key. Okay, so this is how it was, how nicely when it came up above it, but when it got below it, that 8 SMA, then you're fighting to get for how many days? Above it, nice. You get to below it, and then just force it until you can pop above. So always watch this 8 SMA. That's going to be very, very critical on the upside. Now, on the downside, it's coming right down here into the support levels here. Okay, so Friday's low, what you had 34. So you want to come right down to the bottom of this candle, 30.26. So you sit right there. That is going to be your support levels. And then we can come feed right off of this candle here at 29.90. That's next. And then we'll come right to this 21-day here. Okay, 21.74. Throw that all right into the mix here. Okay, but watch that. So a candle here. Always look to the next, to the left there, 29.90. And then we have here 29.74. Again, if that's lost here, we can follow the candles down. But really, realistically, you're looking at that 28.16. If that's lost, you're going to come down here to this 26.25 very, very quickly. Now, another key you want to do is always watch that 8 SMA here. That's in about 29.03. That's just below this 21-day here. That's going to be very, very key because you can just look on this chart here. You can see how it came and it held. Came all the way came down, but it held it. Okay, that's the key. So this might be very, very good support. So always watch that 8 SMA on your weekly chart and obviously on your daily chart. But I don't like it because it's rolling over. So we got to see how this is all shaking out. Now, RSI looks like she's heading on the way on down here. This MACD does not look good. It looks like you have the green is going below the red here. That's a bearish cross. That's a sell signal. So we got to see. The key is going to be, can it hold this area right here, that 30.26? Okay, so it held it here a couple times. Let's see if you can hold it that. If not, look to the left. Then look to your 21 SMA. Very, very key. If that's lost, then we look to your 8 SMA here. and then we can come all the way down to your 50, and then your retest down here all the way down at 26.25. Okay, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Okay, here we have Bitcoin. All right, here we go. Now, you really have a nice big trading range is all you really have going on here now. And if you also look at this chart here, you can see like there's a head right there, your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and she's coming right on up here. Okay, so we just have sideways action. This is still looking very, very strong here. Okay, so the key is going to be, let's like a look at the downside first, is going to be right there. So you want to watch that 6,607. That's going to be very key. Right below it here, you got 65,641. Okay, but you can see where that 21-day now is curling up here. If we cross that 50-day, that's always a bullish, bearish sign. Now, again, if that's lost here, what you always want to do is obviously is watch this 8 SMA here. You're looking at 65,586. That's always going to be crucial, so always throw that right in the mix here. That's right below your 21 SMA. And if that's lost, what we do is just follow these candles here. You're looking at 61,540. What do you got there? 61,350. Come all the way down here to 64,25 until you get right down to your 59,472 here. That is very, very key. But again, we have your 21-day, which is sitting right there at 59,553, just above that 100 SMA here. Okay, so use these simple moving average here is your 8, your 21-day, and those are your key support levels. Your candlesticks here are just your support levels. Okay, so very, very crucial. And then you could actually come all the way down to your retest if it sells off at 59,910. But again, you know, this right now is a really good trader's market here. I mean, as far as action. Now, upside, here's what you got to watch right there. This is going to be very, very crucial. That's 68,605. That's your 8 SMA. If you can get above that, well, then we can work yourself up. You got 69,725 here. What do you got there? You got 70,855. We can come all the way up here, 71.10, and then your big retest is 72.30, 360. Now, again, if you can get above that, then what you do is you come over, right, bring this price channel across, and you come right to the top of that candle. Okay, so you're looking at 73,380, and then there's your big retest, 74,415. Again, you break above this 74,415, and you're going to go to 100,000. There's no question about it. Okay, that's just basic. You're going to go to them round numbers here. But right now, if you're trading Bitcoin, just trade this range here, and just watch here on the that 8 SMA here on the upside, that 50 and that 21 SMA here on the downside. If that's lost here, watch that 8 SMA here, and then we could come all the way down. Upside, everything is going to be about that 8 SMA, okay? 68,605. If you can get above all that here, then we follow the candles until you get your big retest, 72,360, and then we can follow this candle here, and then go right up to that 74,415. Okay, next here on the docket, we're going to look at, it's going to be NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA here. This is like turning into one of my favorite trades here. Has been now here for quite a while. I always like trading Tesla. That's always a good one. But Tesla kind of lost its mojo there. You can still get your points out of there. You could probably get anywhere from, 3 to 5 points a day out of Tesla. That's not a problem. It's just that NVIDIA just has a nice bigger range. Another thing I like about NVIDIA, remember on the 7th here of June, this is going to split 10 for 1. So this $1,000 stock now is going to become now like a $100 stock. And let me tell you something, people are going to want to get into this bad boy. They are the king. They had absolutely blowout numbers here. I think this AI is just starting. This is the one that you want to be in. Now, there's a lot of other ones out there. Amazon is good. I say you can be in the Tesla. You can be in the Meta. Now, if you want to trade that sweet basket of all that, I would trade the TQQQs because that has your Amazon and your Meta and your Google, you know what I'm saying, and Tesla. That has that all in. That's what I do. It's a sweet basket. And then I usually pick one. I was always picking Tesla, which I try to trade that every day because that was a good mover. But this thing is just off the chart as far as moving. Now, when this comes down to the 100 area, that's going to be even nicer because now you can buy a lot more shares. And I think you don't need that much movement, you know what I'm saying, to get your money out of the situation. Now, what we had here on Friday is we had this lower low here, okay? So it got as low here as 1,069.40, but you notice that it did not fill this gap, okay? This gap right here is 1,064.75, okay? 1,069.40. So that gap is not filled. However, you're holding up here. This really nice here is this 8 simple moving average here. But there's a couple things that I just always want to point out to you here. There is another gap here, okay? So you want to look, if that 8-day is lost, you want to look to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 1,030, and then we want to look to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 1,015.20. There's your gap. And then look to the top of this candle right here at 960.20. There's your fill. Okay, that was at earnings. We're at gap and go. Okay, gap and go kind of a situation. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to come down and fill these gaps here right now or whatever. Basically, this thing could trade sideways and just, all the way on up. Now, again, if you break this 1158, 13 on a closing basis, that's the key, a closing basis, not just pop up and come down. If you break that on a closing basis, your target is going to be $1,200. Okay, that's just no question. So that's where your target is going to be. Very, very simple. But watch this gap right here. Okay, so when this opens here on Monday morning, watch that. That's 1,069.40. That's the bottom. Watch this fill, 1,064.75. And this is going to be very, very key, which is right below that at 1,061.83. If you're less lost here, you just follow the candle. Okay, you got 1,030. This is your gap right there, 1,015, and then there's your fill at that 960 here level. So again, we had a kind of like a bottoming tail here. So when the market sells off, it'll take a while, and then this one will sell off with it. However, when that market turns on the upside, this is the first one that giddy ups and goes higher. Okay, so when we look at the weekly chart, you can see obviously a nice big topping tail. There's no issue right there. And if it comes right on down here, there's always a good trading opportunity here like this. I'm getting 20, 30 points out of this thing here a day because I scalp it at least 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 times. That's how good this trade. Now, if you want to trade this, then what you do is you go right on, like say, a 1 minute and a 5 minute chart. It gives you a good trading action situation here. Okay, so that's always very, very good here. Now, again, just watch this key level here on the downside. Watch that gap, watch that fill, watch that 8-day. Now, here, let's look at the upside. Well, what you want to watch is watch the bottom of this candle. Okay, that's 1,096.63. You finished pretty much right about there. And then what we do is we want to go to the top of the candle, which was 1127, and then what we can do is you have your big retest up here at 1158 here. But again, this could just be trading sideways kind of an action here. So just always really, really pay attention to that. Okay, but this is a really good trader if you want to get into the traders, just solid like day trading here. I mean, I always trade oil, I always trade natural gas, and I always trade like the TQQs, long and short, and then I'll pick a lot of stocks. But this is one of my favorite for scalping anywhere from 2 to 5 times per day, which is a very good trading. Now, next we're going to do here on NVIDIA, I'm just going to show you here. They're not live in action or anything because obviously it's Sunday, but I'm going to show you a chart on how to trade this with the 1 minute and the 5 minute, like one over the top of the other kind of a situation. I'm going to give you a couple of examples there. Okay, so when you set your charts up here, you want to trade NVIDIA. Now, again, I also use a tick chart, but I noticed that the 1 and the 5 minute have been really good situations to how to trade this NVIDIA. Okay, so what you always want to do is when you look at something like this kind of a situation here, see how you have a low and a higher low and a higher low kind of a situation. That's exactly how you want to trade it. You never want to buy the first kind of a round. Just let it go up here and let it come down. If it holds this situation, then you can take long. A lot of times here, you can buy it there and you can dump it out there. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or you can just wait here for a little bit bigger picture and then you can just ride it right on up here. But as long as this price is like above that 8 SMA here, let me see if I can big that up a little bit here. As long as that price is above that 8 SMA here kind of situation, then you can just ride it. But once you start losing that 8 SMA here, see what happens, then you're going to go all the way down to the top. That's a little big right there. Okay, so just when you get this here live, these are really, really good ways of trading here, okay? Same way with this here. You never want to buy this bottom situation right there. Let it come down. Wait for that green candle, you know what I'm saying? Or like what I do a lot of times, I'll wait for it to come down, and then I'll buy this candle right here on the retest. Not the red candle, but the very next one when it turns green, okay? Because what you have is you got a low, you got a lower low, but then you start moving on up here where you have this low, and then you're holding this key area here, okay? So when you see the red, you don't buy that because, you know, it could come all the way down. Wait for the next candle to turn green and then take it. And then when you shoot it right on up here, when you start getting them series of candles in a row, that's where you say, boom, dump out the position and just wait for another trade. This thing will let you get in and out of this thing many, many times. And now you can see here at the end of the day where all that short covering was coming in here, they were just rallying it up very, very nicely here, okay? So that's what you have to look at. Now, same way on the 5 here. If you want to slow the trade down a little bit, this is the same scenarios right here, okay? So when you see this and you come all the way down, let it run up here and then wait for the kind of a retest kind of a situation. So you can buy it there, okay? You can buy it all the way down here, but just in whatever run up that you can get out of this, because these are huge numbers here on the run up here, okay? So never really just buy that bottom because you see this is a good example of it. It comes down here, okay? So I always wait for a retest and see where it goes. Now, since this did not hold this candle here, and look at where it went, all the way down. See, then you wait until you get that retest to take that thing long. That's the key, is always going to be that. See, a lot of times what you do is you can get suckered right in here, okay? You say, oh, this is bottoming out here. Well, no, it didn't, because see, when it came down and it retested that candle, okay, see, like right there, what did it do? It broke through and it just kept right on going. Now, you don't want to be stuck sitting right there and then say, oh, I got to get stopped out here now and then lose that take thing. Always wait for the retest. If you get yourself a higher low, like you had here, okay, so you got a low and then it came down, you made a higher low. That is you telling you that says, boom, I got to take that bad boy long, okay? That's what you always look for. It's that scenario where you can get and, you know, points out of the situation. But again, when it gets to the top area here and you start seeing candles here, or when you see a candle like what we got going on here, where you have a topping tail and then you see a red candle, just get the hell out of the trade, okay? You don't even have to short it. What I do is I don't short this. I just take it long, just scalping it long. But just take your money, okay? So you miss a little bit. Big deal. This will always give you a chance to get back in again, okay? That's the key, okay? So always go there and you buy the retest, and then once it's running and you get above that 8-day, you keep riding that 8-day until you see that topping tail candle, and then when you see a red candle, boom, just sell your position. If it goes up, so what? Okay, you'll get in again, and it'll come right on down. Once you get below that 8 SMA, then she just wants to come right on down here, okay? So just keep your eye on NVIDIA, and remember, they're going to have that 10-for-1 split here on June here 7th, and this should be a good trader here, I think, for the rest of the year. Now, again, there's a lot of people, I have friends that are traders, and they buy this and they hold it long position here. I'm a trader. I like to have that something like this here. I just want to get that daily cash flow with this here. This is a really good scalper, and I think when this splits down the 100 range, I think it's even going to be a better scalper, and I think it's going to have a lot of good volatility. Also, another thing we want to watch this year, this is election year here in the United States, so everybody's going to be telling you what you want to hear, so everybody's going to try to pull you in different directions, all that kind of stuff. So what you want to do is don't worry about all the politics and all this and all that, okay? What you worry about is how do I make money off of the politics? That's the key thing, okay? Make the money off the politics. That's what you do as a trader. You don't worry about the personal opinions and all this kind of stuff. You just say, hey, boom, this is doing this, this is doing this. I can make money off of this. But AI, I think, is just starting here. It's going to be the future. And I think is something like NVIDIA is going to be a really, really good stock, not only just to buy and hold, but to trade on a daily basis. Okay, that's what I got for you. A little oil, not a gas, gold, silver, Bitcoin, NVIDIA. Now, I'll be back here tonight here before 7 o'clock. When the futures open here at 6 o'clock, I'll have a video there for you right after that. And we're going to review like a little more in-depth on crude oil and natural gas. Okay, thanks for watching.